I think it's story time. All right. So, in case you did not know, your boy had a nice little encounter. Now I recently posted my interview with the cast of Sinners. Spoke to Delroy Lindo, spoke to Ryan Coogler, and this was a roundtable. This was for Africa, so shout out to Africa for that. And I'm gonna give y'all a little behind the scenes. This story is gonna be more behind the scenes stuff, so we just gonna rap for a little bit. I had been trying my hardest to get on the press tour, press junket list for Sinners. Okay. So, just for those that don't know, if you're not a big outlet, you're not Variety, you're not Deadline, you're not, one of the big major Hollywood outlets, um, getting on a press junket to do interviews is damn near Russian roulette. Like, you'll be lucky if you can get in after all the other bigger outlets get their automatic slot, right? So we already know these big outlets, they gonna get their time, they gonna do their thing. We already know that. So your boy, man, I was working. And what do I mean by working? I'm, making videos about Sinners. I'm writing articles about Sinners. I'm emailing. I'm like, yo, what's up with Sinners? Yo, how you doing? I'm like, this is my lane. What's up? Hook a boy up. Here go my numbers. Can I get a little bit of that, Sinners? Like, I'm doing everything I can so that I could try. Because y'all know I'm trying to get this interview so I can bring this to y'all, right? I'm trying to infiltrate. You got to be strategic with this. So it gets to the point where the press junket is happening. It's official. I'm not getting no calls. Ain't nobody. I'm talking to all the peoples. I'm like, yo, any updates? And they like, yeah, maybe. We'll see. I'm like, dang, man, I heard that we'll see before. I've heard that before. So AFCA, again, shout out to AFCA, one of the largest film critic groups full of African Americans. AFCA decided to do a roundtable. And the roundtable, you've seen those interviews before. It's about like a bunch of us. We sit down with the cast. Is it the best? Is it the same as a one-on-one interview? Not as much, but it still gets your foot in the door. So shout out for that opportunity. So the second they mentioned that, I was like, accept, please. So I was lucky and fortunate enough to be a part of that roundtable. And that's where I was able to have my Sinners interview, which I just posted on the channel. So, of course, with these interviews, and let me be very clear, you only maybe get one question, and the last thing, I know some people might not think this way, but the professional thing to do is to stay on topic. So if I'm doing an interview about Sinners, I have to ask about Sinners. So that's why if you watch my interview with Coogler, there is no Black Panther talk because this was about Sinners and I only had one question. So that's why that happened. But if you saw the end of that interview, that is where things get spicy. And I believe I do have that ending right here. Let me pull that up real quick. Y'all should be watching the videos anyway. But let me play the last 8 seconds. So this is after, oh, no. Before I play this, here's what tripped me up. This is what messed everything up. Okay? Because at first, I will admit, I was a little nervous. Because I was like, man, I don't know if Ryan Coogler, recast T'Challa. Right? So, y'all saw what I was wearing. I was wearing my little T'Challa shirt and everything, So, before the interview starts, Ryan gets up and, this is before the cameras roll and we're on a Zoom call. He looks at the camera. He's like looking at all the people and he's like, oh man, okay. I'm going to try and do my Ryan Coogler Oakland accent. Okay. All right. I see y'all. All right. Oh man, I can't see everybody. Let me get a closer look. Okay. Oh, okay. I see E-Man here. Okay. I was like, how does he know who I am? I was like, he didn't say, oh, there's Emmanuel Noisette. oh, there's the movie block. No. He was like, oh no, E-Man is here. I was like, sir, whoa, wait a minute. How? How do you know me, sir? Because now my mind is racing. I'm like, do you know me because I was a fan of Black Panther? Do you know me because of Recast T'Challa? Because y'all know I've had some strong opinions. Like, what do you know and how do you know me? So anyway, I asked my question. He enjoyed the question. And, this is the ending of the question here. This is what he ended up saying.
Right on. That means a lot, bro. We coming to Chicago, bro. We're gonna be out there in a bit. You should pull up.
I got you.
I bet.
Let me tell you something. If you're in the middle of an interview and the director of the movie tells you to pull up because they come to your hometown, what you think I'm finna do? Yes, I'm finna pull up. Are you crazy? Let me tell you something. Remember how I told y'all I was out there looking and I was trying to get on the press tour. I was trying to get a junket, trying to get an interview. You don't think I got right on that phone and I said, excuse me, Ryan Coogler, the director, he just invited me to come and pull up. I needs to pull up. Can I please pull up? The pulling up needs to happen right now. I was told, oh, we already talking about you. I said, how y'all know me? How y'all talking about me? And this just happened. And y'all already talking about me? Y'all saying anything good, bad? What's going on with it? They was like, no. We trying to work the schedule out. We trying to see if we can get it. I was like, okay, cool. Let's go. This is when I want to say it was right before that last live that we did that I was like, y'all, I got something cooking, but I didn't want to jinx nothing. Anyway, let me hurry up with the story. So I get the call, yo, Ryan is cool. Ryan want to see you. Pull up. I said, okay, all right, let's go. All right, cool. So I pull up and I get to the location and it was literally like me and like one other person. I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, this is Ryan Coogler. It's a big movie. They in Chicago. Michael B. Jordan around here somewhere. Like, why, where's the Chicago media and stuff? That's another story for another day. So I'll fast forward. So I'm sitting outside and he's walking down the hall and his assistant was like, you must be E-Man. I was like, ma'am, who are you and how do you know who I am? Like, it's really messing me up because I don't know if they know me for good things or bad things. I don't know. And then there comes Ryan. He comes in. He's like, E-Man, what's up? I was like, what's up? All right. Yeah, what's up? Let's go do this, right? So everything's cool. Now, I wore this shirt because this was the shirt that I wore when I went to go see him. First, they love the shirt. Oh my God, did you make that shirt? In this? I was like, yes, I made it. Now, I made this a while ago, right? But I just thought it was fitting because 1930s, Jim Crow, Black Panther, it was a perfect fit, perfect match. Cool. All right, let me go through the actual conversation. So, he compliments me. It was one of those like black brother type of, situations. Like, oh man, I like your shirt. Nah, man, I like your shirt, man. Nah, man, your fit is dope, man. No, you cool. Like, it was just that complimentary type of thing, right? And then I was like, all right, man, hey, I gotta ask you, how do you know me? What like I don't you called me out on the interview. How do you know me, sir? And he was like, oh, you talked to Nate Moore. I was like, oh, I did talk to Nate Moore. Oh, so you do know about Recast T'Challa because that's the only time I've talked to Nate Moore. The only time I talked to Nate Moore, videos up there, is when I had to do the Recast T'Challa conversation. Y'all saw it. We went in depth with it. So I was like, okay, clearly he knows about Recast T'Challa and he's smiling in my face. We're cool. So I'm like, okay, I guess we're good. Right. And then he was like, yeah. And also I met you during Creed. I was like, bro, that was over a decade ago. A decade ago when I had hair and nobody cared who Ryan Coogler was. Not at all. And you remembered that? Dope. Very cool. Very cool. So anyway, when it came to the actual conversation that we had, again, and let me just kind of let y'all know, I'm going to be professional about this, right? The vast majority of the conversation, first of all, they told me I only had 10 minutes. So in those 10 minutes, I had to ask some Sinners questions because that's why he's here. And then, of course, I had a Black Panther question on deck. But shout out to his assistant, and shout out to Coogler himself. That 10 minutes turned into 20, 5, 7, 27. And we actually got a chance to talk. Like every time I was like, man, it's almost time. He was like, no, man, we can keep talking. I was like, wow, okay. Because I want to be respectful of his time, right? So again, you're giving me an opportunity to talk to you. The least I can do is talk about your movie and stuff like that. So I do, I ask a couple questions about the movie. I will drop those on the movieblog.com if you want to see those. It's more about Sinners. It's a little spoilery, so I'm gonna drop it when the movie comes out. And I know y'all don't care about that. Y'all want to care about Black Panther. So I know why you're here. I get it. So Black Panther, I said like, hey man, ain't no way the people are going to let me talk to you and not have a conversation about Black Panther. Ain't no way. Y'all would hang me by my toes. Y'all would hang me by my pinky toe if I did not ask at least one Black Panther question. Now, let me make this very clear. I have extremely huge difference of opinions with Coogler and his creative decisions, right? That's no secret. But one thing I do not do, I'm not harboring any type of personal resentment against him, Marvel, Nate Moore, whatever. So if you are here thinking that this is about to be an I hate this black man type of tirade, you're in the wrong place. That's not what I'm about. I'm not anti-black. I can have harsh, vehement disagreements, but I can also respect another black man that also happens to love the same character that I do. So, yes, we have disagreements, but at the same time, we do respect one another. And I appreciate him for that. So, I asked this question because since he already knew that I spoke to Nate Moore, it didn't make sense. And keep in mind, my time is ticking at this point to ask him or talk to him about recast T'Challa. No need for that. He already knows that. But what I did want to ask about was something about the future, right? So my question to him was, I want to make sure I get the question right. I asked him straight up, Avengers Secret Wars is coming up, but Nate Moore already said that we are going to let Ryan Coogler do his thing, right? We're going to let him do his thing. We're going to let him do, Sinners, and then he'll come in. So while he was doing that, I was like, so that means Black Panther 3 probably won't come out till 2028, but whatever it is, it'll be after Secret Wars. So again, because I already knew that he knew about Recast T'Challa, I'm not asking about that, but I kind of am. And I asked him, hey, when it comes to Avengers Secret Wars, there is an idea out there that this could be a soft reboot to the MCU. It might do something that resets everything. And then I asked him, I said, like, and given the fact that you had all these challenges with Chadwick's passing and all the stuff that happened with Black Panther that didn't go the way you wanted, as a creator, as a writer, how do you feel about the multiverse? And how do you feel about starting over? So the reason why I'm asking this, I'm like, hey man, you could just all that stuff that you got going on, you could do this differently. You can start off, you got a fresh, clean slate. And as a writer, wouldn't that be something you'd be interested in? His answer, I thought, was interesting. He says, bro, I can't answer that. He said, because it's real. It's real things happening, and the Russo brothers are working on a movie, What I will say, and this is me knowing what I know, it's about the business. The character T'Challa is in this world. Who will outlive us all? I rest easy knowing Black Panther is a $2 billion franchise and 2 movies. That's a mark that any responsible shareholder can look at and be like, hey, what's going on with this? And in other words, we need to keep this ball going. Cool. Now, at first, this didn't really feel like very much of an answer. And I knew he wasn't going to be able to say too much. But we got to put on the detective hat and start thinking about this. So while it is true that the Russo brothers are doing what they're doing, I thought that his answer was interesting because one assumption a lot of people had was that Ryan Coogler could just do whatever he wants. Ryan Coogler could just write Black Panther and just do whatever he wants, regardless of what anybody else does. But it doesn't sound like that's the case. What it sounds like is the fate of Black Panther, the fate of Wakanda rests in the hands of the Russo brothers. Let's go to the research. We have the rumor. This is from Daniel RPK that the Russo brothers have already signed a deal to oversee additional Marvel projects that includes X-Men at Marvel after the conclusion of the multiverse saga. In other words, they still have the opportunity to basically control or dictate where these things go in terms of the characters or the stories. Now, what's also interesting about this is this already happened. This happened with James Gunn and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Gunn ended up saying Marvel chose that ending in the editing, where it basically had Thor joining the Guardians of the Galaxy. That was not part of James Gunn's plan. That's not what he wanted to do. James Gunn said, and I didn't think it was going to end. It was going to be in there. Endgame came out right after I decided to do Guardians again, so I didn't have much say in what was in Endgame. And then it came out, and then I was like, "What the heck am I going to do?" Right? So, what I'm trying to say here is, it is very possible that if the Russo brothers destroyed Wakanda, killed off certain characters, Ryan Coogler is going to have to pick up those pieces. So for a lot of y'all that are out there, they're like, man, I don't like T'Challa Jr. Man, I don't. Hey, if T'Challa Jr. don't make it through, Ryan Coogler can't use him. He's going to be at the behest of the Russo brothers. Now, because I know this was not satisfying just for me either, because time was ticking. This was pressure situation. Again, I wasn't even supposed to be there. Okay, so please keep that in mind. This was not supposed to be a recast T'Challa conversation. Okay, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't going to slip some stuff in. Similar, if you remember watching my video where I talked about I met the Russo brothers and I was able to share my dream with them. I did the same thing, and I guess you can kind of imagine this. I had the PR person and I had Ryan standing up. He's like trying to leave, and they're like trying to be like, okay, it's time to go. And I was like, hold on. I got just let me just share one last thing. It's not even a question. I was like, listen, I just want to tell you something from the people. We are very okay with variants. The multiverse is okay. We're not feeling T'Challa Jr., Toussaint. Seeing a black man and a strong black woman on screen is something we would absolutely love. And last but not least, T'Challa needs to be intelligent, 18 steps ahead, and has to be one of the best fighters on screen. Ryan heard it. He was like, okay, all right, in his Oakland voice. So, at the very least, I have communicated. I've communicated the message. He heard it. It's up to him. But I think what gives me a little bit more hope, maybe, is maybe it's not Ryan Coogler that we need to focus on. Maybe it is the Russo brothers that we have to focus on. Maybe it is the Russo brothers. We have to remind, hey, Aldous Hodge as a variant ain't too bad, right? Because if the Russo brothers deliver a variant and say, this is your new T'Challa MCU, this is what Ryan Coogler is going to have to work with. So I just thought that it was interesting that even though he didn't really say it, the fact that he mentioned that the Russo brothers are pretty much dictating what's happening, there's a little bit more hope, just a little bit more hope. So I know this was not the perfect message. It wasn't the perfect situation. I mean, again, I wasn't even supposed to be there. This was not even supposed to happen. It wasn't even supposed to be that long. Hopefully, this earns maybe some goodwill where maybe I'll be able to talk to him during Black Panther. Like, I don't know. But I think I left a good impression. I mean, cool guy, very nice, super generous with his time. And I definitely appreciate the experience. And most importantly, I appreciate him hearing me out, even if this is not even if it's not what he wants to do, right? Even if he's like completely opposite and he wants to do something else, I'm always gonna respect people that at least hear us out. So shout out to him for that. All right, guys, that's it. That's my Ryan Coogler story. Um, I know somebody's disappointed. I know somebody's mad. Like, why didn't you tell him this? Why didn't you tell him that? Why did you wear a different shirt? Guys, all this happened in like 18 hours. I barely could even think of the questions to ask, but I had to at least make sure I gave him the wish list and, try to get a little something for the Black Panther 3, but I did what I could. And hopefully there'll be more. Hopefully there'll be more. We'll see. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Let me know, what do you think about my meeting with Coogler? Whatever you think, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.